Flash of Genius is about the guy who created the windshield wiper.
No, not the guy who created the windshield wiper. The guy who created the intermittent windshield wiper.
So what you mean the one where you can tell it to only go every 10 seconds or
Yes.
so?
Okay.
Wow, what a fascinating subject.
So wait a minute. We have a guy here because this is what I'm getting from the movie.
Okay.
Okay. This guy is pissed that Ford has stolen his idea.
Yes.
For now, from what I understand, the intermittent windshield wiper.
Honestly, there were times in this movie where I felt like this movie was like a joke that they were just testing to see like if people were going to catch on to it, because you have all these actors being very serious about the fact that, hey, they stole his idea, they crushed this man's dream. But like when they show the windshield, like he's driving, he sees regular windshield wiper in the rain, his own windshield wiper, just kind of like, honey, you see how this thing just like it goes and then it makes noise while it's going back and forth. But then when you stop it, you can't see because of the rain. But if I turn it off and on, that's better.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to invent.
No,
so everybody's up in arms about this, and I'm like, what's the big deal? I don't get it.
I can see that. I mean, it's like, the guy who invented the lazy boy chair. Sure, we've all sat in chairs, but come on, you can't tell me you don't totally love that little lever thing that kicks the thing out, right? Isn't that better than having something like pull up another chair? My great-great-grandfather invented the screw on the light bulb. He didn't get paid shit for it.
And that's a goddamn lie anyway.
No, that's not a lie. That's the truth.
Is
My
it?
Great-great-grandfather invented the screw on the light bulb.
Well, maybe
he was
you
Thomas Edison's personal laboratory assistant.
Swear
to God. I swear to God, it's true.
That your grandfather...
My great-great-grandfather was Thomas Edison's laboratory assistant, and he invented the screw in the light bulb.
And he didn't get shit.
He didn't get shit. Back then, you pretty much worked for, like salary, which wasn't much, and anything you invented or anything you had to do with it in his workshop just got credited to Thomas Edison.
Well, that part's true.
Yep.
I mean, judging by your lack of smarts, there's no way your descendants created anything.
By the way,
Speak for yourself there, Leon.
My great-great-great-grandfather invented toilet paper. Back then, people used to have to wipe with their hands hands were invented before he even created toilet paper.
And that's why you're so full of shit.
Covered with shit.
Well, my point here is that, okay, look, I don't want to begrudge a man for having invented something important that we use all the time. But let's face it, he made an improvement on something that already existed. Now, when Ford took his idea, I can understand him saying, look, I want to get some credit for this, but it is an improvement on something. So when they offer you $300,000, $1 million, $30 million, you say, okay, I take that and shut the fuck up.
Well, you got Japan. That's their entire economy. They're one of the richest nations in the world because they took our shit and made it much better. They didn't invent shit.
Well, then that country owes us then.
That's what I'm saying. But still, I think what it comes down to is like, okay, that's the guy deserved to get paid. Sure he did. You got to get paid for the shit you invent, even if it's improving on somebody else's. I don't want to see a movie about it.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because he starts out as just like a generic guy. I was like, man, I know that Greg Kinnear is a good actor, but there's just nothing here. This role.
Is there really a guy? I'm looking here. Is there really a guy named Bob Kearns then? Because this is a movie that says loosely based.
Well, it doesn't say loosely based. It just says based on a true story. But then at the end of the movie, it's like based on an article in a magazine called Flash of Genius, where I'm sure they must have mentioned this guy once, and who is probably a real guy.
Right.
But this whole drama is just that. It's probably a big.
So
fiction.
this character in the movie, we don't know if that's his real name or not.
It
could
probably
be.
is.
I haven't done the research.
I haven't researched enough to know.
Somebody just read the magazine when they're probably sitting in the toilet in the producer's office, and they're like, "Shit, I don't have any ideas."
I mean,
do this real quick.
Whose property is this Bob Kearns?
I mean, the thing about it is, you know what? Now that we talk about it, I'm actually starting to have more sympathy for him than not. Because, okay, it's one thing to have your idea stolen. Like you said, like, hey, you know what? You didn't create the windshield wiper. Just be happy with what they pay you. But they didn't pay him. They just said, let's see yours. Okay, you tell you what, we're going to do some deal with you, let you manufacture these for us. So he went on his own. He set up a factory, got loans and everything. And then they said, like, we decided we don't want to do the deal. But then they took the technology anyway. So they didn't even pay him shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So he had every reason to get mad. Everybody was on his side. Like, you're going to get mad. He said, they stole it. I'm going to tell everybody, like, whoa. Let's just sue him the right way. And he's like, no, that's not moving fast enough. And then he just went crazy. He he went so nuts. He was digging in people's cars under the hoods, just stealing stuff out of them.
Wow.
Yelling
What is he going to get out of their hoods? I don't understand.
Yeah, what's he going under
He
other
wanted
people's
circuit
hoods?
boards. He was a math teacher, but he had one of his students helping him. Like, I need you to go get me these circuit boards. And he came back. He said, I couldn't get circuit boards. I could just get motors. God damn it! That's not helping me. Get out of here!
Jesus Christ.
Kid was like,
He's yelling at kids, stealing people. I'm surprised somebody didn't shoot him before it was all over with.
But like, he got so bad they found him on a bus in his pajamas holding a kite, saying like, "No, I have to go talk to the vice president."
I invented this kite.
But I am Napoleon.
Well, but you said they offered him like a ridiculous amount of money. He turned it down because they wouldn't like publicly admit that they had stolen
No,
it.
that does happen later.
Yeah.
I mean, he sort of gets his shit together, but he will not give up this fight. He gets a lawyer who says, I'm going to want to get some money for you. Don't worry. I'm happy to have this. Alan Alda in a great scene. And he says, hey, man, congratulations. They offer us a big settlement. And they're going to tell everybody that they stole my idea. He's like, no, then that's not what they do, but they're giving us a big check. You said we were going to get justice. Yeah. Just us is going to get this big ass check. Shut the fuck up and drink your champagne.
What do you think all these girls are going to like him more if they're like, aren't you the guy who invented the intermittent windshield wiper? That makes me so horny.
That's true, man. It's like, what? Because today, depending on how true this story is, I don't know. Like,
Right.
ask somebody, do you know who invented the intermittent windshield wiper? You'd be like, Ford. You know what I mean? It really did it really help his cause? I mean, if I was him, I would have took that money and
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he loses his family. You know, his wife walks out on him. I mean, they had 6 kids. I mean, I figured just having 6 kids enough to make you go crazy to begin with. So having, 4 rip him off was just what he needed to push him over the edge. But, everybody leaves him, and then they start offering money. Okay, we'll give you $1 million. Nope, not going to take it. All right, they get in the trial. They're like, all right, you pushed us. We're going to offer you $30 million. What do you kids think? No, get out. And at that point, you're like, okay, all the sympathy I had for you is out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You won. It should be over right here. But no, you're fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
whatever, you lose now.
But he does, in the end, he does win. He beats Ford and he wins. The jury awards him $10 million. And all you think, you stupid motherfucker, you just lost $20 million.
Exactly. So you can just have the gratitude of telling people, hey, you know what I did? I don't give a fuck what you did. And you lost how much money? You a goddamn fool. I mean, it's like, come on, man. It's the windshield wiper. It ain't like the Pulitzer Prize or some shit. Come on, take $30 million and shut the hell up.
And even like coming back to his wife, like, hey, you can come back to me. I just won. And she's like, yeah, but you didn't win the last 12 years we just lost. I'm out of here. And it's funny because he becomes the champion of all these other nerd inventors who've been ripped off by other companies. And they're all like, yes, you were amazing in there. It's
Dear Mr. Kearns, I invented the paperclip. I finally got my $5.
Well, he's going to need all that money because it's the only way any woman's going to talk to him
And that's
after
some
that.
shit. I mean, this is irony, man. He took a $20 million pay cut just so he could be praised by a bunch of nerds. It's like he ain't even getting women. He's getting the nerds.
I mean, it's funny because everybody, coming out, people are like, that's a very inspirational story about how important it is to fight. I'm like, no, it's important to fight up to a point
Yeah.
until they offer you a lot of money and then you cash out.
You know, it's funny because when Leon came in, people, the first thing I said, was it inspirational? I expect you to like kind of tear down like, yes, this man fought for his dream. I'm like, fuck no, I would have taken the money.
Yeah.
You know how much he lost?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, considering like the dollar to time ratio, he would have been better off taking that $300,000 they offered him in the very beginning.
And see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, come on. It's like we had a windshield wiper before. He kind of improved it. That's
Yeah.
worth $30 million right there to fight for that
sure.
long. I mean, it ain't like he invented toilet paper where you need that. I mean, you got your hand in toilet. I mean, come on now. That's an invention right
I
there.
don't know. We live in Texas, though. I mean, I'm sure if you lived in Seattle, you might be like, man, there's no way I'd drive anything without intermittent windshield wipers.
That's,
Fuck
you know
that.
what? And I'm sitting up here joking around. I mean, hey, look, it meant a lot to this guy. Good for him. How was the movie though itself? I mean,
who
we're sitting up here
played
talking
the
about the
guy?
concept.
Well, it's Greg Kinnear as the guy. I mean, not a lot of big actors in this. Greg Kinnear is the main guy. You got like 2 great scenes with Alan Alda. Lauren Graham from the Gilmore Girls is his wife.
Yeah.
And she's pretty good. And most of you got a lot of actors, like some of them you might recognize from things, but they're not in it for very much.
Yeah, Dermot Mulroney's in
Dermot
it.
Mulroney, Mitch Pileggi.
Okay. Yeah,
Skinner
so
from the X-Files, cool.
Alan Alda, you were telling us though, like even though he's a small character, he comes in and we don't see Alan Alda that much.
Right.
No.
And for the 2 scenes he's in, he owns those scenes. He has a great impact because he's the old lawyer who's like, at first he's like happy. He's like, man, I'm so glad you brought this case to me. You have a beautiful wife. I just want to let y'all know that I'm gonna fight for you, and we're gonna get justice. And then later he's like, hey, let's celebrate. Took them to a nice restaurant, champagne. They call us for a big summer. I never expected this. We're gonna get paid. It's gonna be great. Yeah. And they're gonna tell everybody they stole from me.
Look, I'm sure you men think this is a bunch of hogwash, but this is about more than money. I always thought I was put here on this earth for a purpose. I thought it was to be an engineer or maybe an inventor, but that's not it, and now I know what it is.
God put you here to sue the Ford Motor Company.
Look, I brought these here thinking that you had different ideas. Edwin Armstrong invented the FM radio. Somehow RCA ended up with a patent. He jumped out a 13-story window. This was a good man. He was an inventor. And look, I have letters from people who've had their ideas taken from them. They've heard about us. They're in their backyards and their garages, and they're counting on me.
And all the looked at him like, oh, Jesus.
I know they just picked
It's
up
like,
the briefcases and
no.
okay.
Alan
They're not
Alda
gonna
sounds
do
like the
that.
best guy for that role, too.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, he's so great. Alan Alda's one of the best actors out there, but they don't use him much. And I have a theory about that. It's like, because we all remember him as Hawkeye Pierce, like this
From
young,
MASH?
full
Yeah.
of energy, just incredible, like, you know, just comedian. And you see him now, and he's just a reminder of death. That's all he is.
yeah, well,
He is just physically collapsed.
I
And
feel
you're-
bad, but he does kind of look like Gollum with a hairpiece on.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's too depressing to see him now. Like, he's got jowls that hang down to his
Yeah.
like a belly button.
yeah, no, hey man, I have to admit because when he was Hawkeye and MASH, he was the funny guy that was all the ladies liked him.
Yeah, he was vibrant and alive. He was our hero watching MASH, and now you're like, wow, you probably pay someone to, like, you know, clean up the shit stains in your underwear that you can't help but
man,
leave. Come on, man. I don't want to see that. I want to remember him like he was.
Like
It
damn.
just reminds you that you're getting old. I mean,
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
You're giving him a hard time. What movies you been in lately? See? All right, then.
Kirk Cameron called the other day.
Yeah, but the Grim Reaper ain't standing over his shoulder right now.
Yeah, that's true. Not that I know of.
Come on, man, hurry up and eat. I got somewhere to go. We gotta get this shit on. But so it sounds like from when I was watching the commercials on TV, which I just saw like this week,
Yeah.
because this movie, and I don't think anybody's really heard about.
Right.
They made it say like, oh, this movie is such an inspiration, such a motivator to let you know how the how triumphant the human spirit can be when you fight. And I'm thinking, wow, I want to go see this. It's like I'm gonna come out of here and like make that $1 million that I want to make in 2 weeks after I see it. And now you're telling me it's like, nah, it's not that.
No, I mean, you know what? The funny thing is, it's like you could tell that it wants to be that, but the fact of the matter is, you take on a big corporation. David and Goliath, that's in a storybook. In real life, the giant will beat you down unless you can negotiate something.
See, that's why this movie needs to be there, because the people need to like fight that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
I appreciate integrity and all that, but, you know, even Shakespeare knew when it was time to put Hamlet aside and write a romantic comedy. Shakespeare got to get paid, son. I mean,
Look
come
at this
on.
fool over
That's
here quoting Shakespeare.
Shakespeare did not say Shakespeare got to get paid, son. Corey.
That's not in the story.
No, that's not one of
I
his
thought that was one of his
lines.
comedies. Shakespeare's got to get paid. So what would you give this movie then?
man, you know what? This movie is no Oscar caliber movie. It's better than a TV movie. It's somewhere in the middle, and I just want to give it like either a high rental or low matinee.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have been better if they had just cut it off at the $30 million mark, huh?
No, 20 million. He got 10. Send him the rest of the 20. Yeah. No. All right. So, well, fuck this movie. Shit.
Chris, like, I'm not seeing it.
Damn. If I'm not gonna walk out of there feeling like I just came out of a seminar, then
Yeah, I
the
want
hell with
Rocky.
this.
I
Yeah,
want
exactly.
this Rocky of intermittent windshield wiper films. Adrian!
It's like saying I invented duct tape, but duct tape was already invented. But you know what I did? I made it like 10% extra stickier.
Right.
Honestly, Corey, the way I'm capitulating back and forth about what rating, while I might give it a high rental to everybody else, I would give it a low matinee for you, just because I know that you're gonna laugh at the scenes where he's just losing his mind.
You do like movies about crazy people. That's true.
Man, I would be the guy in the theater laughing when everybody's like, "Oh, he's so sad." I'm like, look at that motherfucker on the bus in his pajamas.
Yeah, because when he gets with that one student of his who's like, yeah, I couldn't get the circuit boards, so I got some motors. What? I can't use this shit. What? Did somebody get to you? Did you talk about me to anybody? What did they say to you? The kid's like, I'm out of here, dude.
Oh, what? Jesus, man, you didn't tell me this was a comedy. Okay, I'm there.